Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Perfect balance means invocation of inner strength and inner wisdom. Power without wisdom leads to calamity, and wisdom without power becomes a philosophy. Like a married man telling a young man, hey, don't get married, there's nothing in life. So when a married man tells don't get married, it is a philosophy. Because it is a delayed wisdom. But when I tell people don't get married, it is a wisdom. It is not delayed. It is practiced. Balance is these two faculties in each one of us. The strength faculty part of it and the wisdom of it. And it is for this purpose that we have to have the strength. Without strength, whatever you say has no meaning. And if you are powerful, if you are strong, then whatever nonsense you say, it becomes meaningful. And therefore, those people who are devoid of wisdom and full of power, they create problems in this world. And those who are full of wisdom but no power, they become like me. They can do nothing in this world. A manager is a person in whom this perfect balance is achieved. And for that, we will be having a scheme of thought from today onwards, 4 days. So today we will take the basic qualities of an efficient manager. Then slowly we will go on adding. The basic qualities are, he never teaches, but his subordinates learn. Whenever a manager goes on teaching, the subordinates will never learn. If he has this technique by which he is able to educate his subordinates without teaching them, he has a balance within. Second thing, he becomes a source of motivation for all the people around him. Now we'll take 1 or 2 qualities and try to expand on them. Now the first one, he never teaches, but the people around him learn. You know, we all have a great appreciation for sacrifice. We all have great appreciation for discipline. We all have great liking for punctuality. And therefore, we want everybody to be of that kind, except ourselves. And this is how we have a mistaken understanding that if I am a boss, if I am the head, these are meant for others, not for me. On the contrary, if these qualities are demonstrated by the manager, all his people will start learning without being taught. And for that, there are 2 basic qualities required. Quality number one, he must know his authority and he must have the courage to use his authority. Second thing, he must have dispassion. When these two things come together, authority along with dispassion, then an efficient manager is born. Now, to make this point, let us take an example. Take the example of our Mahatma Gandhi. He has earned the authority and he has demonstrated the dispassion. Two things. And therefore, he was able to motivate millions of people for some higher cause. So now the third factor has entered. When a manager has the authority, plus he has a dispassion, and he is able to motivate his people for some higher cause, not for selfishness, then an efficient manager is born. Wherever we see the stink of selfishness, subordinates start getting disintegrated. Yesterday I went to see one of the medical camps, and I had never seen such a huge gathering of people in thousands, without chaos, without shouting, without confusion, without frustration, anywhere in the world. Thousands of them. Everybody with one or the other body elements, because it is a medical camp. So many volunteers, so many patients, but one common factor on everybody's face, whether he is a volunteer or a patient, a beaming smile. So I was thinking, where from this is coming? And then I met one old man, and he came so humble, unassuming, and with a wholehearted smile on his face, humility and sincerity. And his only presence is enough. Nay, even if he is not there, I asked those people, I said, hey, are you all so beautifully doing because Dadaji is there? They say, yes, of course it is because of him, but he is not all the time here. An efficient manager is he whose absence does not collapse the system. And this can happen only when, be very attentive, when that efficient manager has produced equally competent people through the course of his interaction with them. Very important. Most of the places what happens? Suppose I am the chief and I have to control the whole lot. So how do I control? Divide and rule. Keep them fighting among each other, and then keep my position sound. By that, I manage somehow my time. But after I go, that institution, that organization gets totally disintegrated. Therefore, an efficient manager is the one who has this understanding and vision, and thereby he is producing the next generation of efficient managers who will not be a threat to his own existence, because he is a real genius. A real genius is the one who has discovered the source of inspiration in him or in her. There are two ways we can function in this world efficiently. One, under the influence of inspiration, and second, under the influence of motivation. Borrowed inspiration is called as motivation. I can do anything for you, please tell me. Do these things. Okay, and I mean that sincerely. But what I should do, that I am unable to decide. So an inspired person is never short of new ideas, his ability, and the expansion is to the limit of sky. A motivated person is extremely dedicated, extremely sincere, but he lacks this particular quality, that he doesn't have that independent inspiration in his faculty. And as a result, he is all the time dependent. Therefore, it is this inspired manager who becomes a source of inspiration for others, and he is not afraid that somebody will come and take over from me, because he may outwit. Therefore, if we want to learn what is the meaning of an efficient manager, it is not only through big words, but it is through demonstration in small acts. And when all these qualities are demonstrated by the manager in his life, all others are automatically following. To understand this, I'll give an example. Once, few years before, I was in a house staying, a South Indian house. And they had two children, one son and one daughter, small, maybe about 5-6 years, one plus minus like that. Very small gap between the two. Elder was brother, younger was sister. And I was in my room reading, writing something. And they were playing in my room only. Because children like to be, around a new guest. So they were playing there. And I knew if I go on talking to them, they will climb on my head. So I pretended I am busy. But they are also pakka. They were playing there. Hey, let us play home, home. And one, brother and sister, they started playing home, home. Should we start? Yes. They started. The brother becomes the husband and the sister becomes the wife. Mummy, daddy, and two children, that is the family. So, the husband comes, and it's only in imagination action. There is nothing like that. So, the husband comes, tack, tack. And even the sound comes by mouth, tack, tack. From inside, Kaun hai? Who else can be there in this miserable house? Then she comes and does the action. That means the door opens with all noise. That must be happening in their house every day. And after he comes, he just throws his bag, throws his shoes, and first question, is there something to eat in this house? Wife replies, eat me. Now see, all these dialogues which the children use while playing home, home, that script is not written by anybody. Then it is demonstrated by the parents. Isn't it? We all learn by seeing more. than by listening. When our subordinates, they see the demonstration of power, adhikar, and dispassion, vairagya in the boss, it automatically percolates at a lower level. Another example, this happened in Delhi. That time Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister. So one Amma was driving me and she jumped the red light. The police came, stopped the car. And, madam, with receipt 200, without receipt 100. No ambiguity, to the point. So, when I looked at him and I said, Mahatma Ji, Jai Ho. He said, Swamiji, I know why you said Jai Ho. Then he said, when the Prime Minister can misappropriate millions, if I take 100, what is wrong? Now tell me, do we have any reply for that? No. Therefore, it is a great responsibility to be a manager and motivate them, and that can happen only when you have inner strength. Inner strength gives meaning to the words that we utter. Words without meaning is noise. Isn't it? Suppose somebody comes and talks to me in Chinese. Ching, pong, ong, ah. No one do I understand. Hey, what are you doing? The kya. But she said, Swamiji, I love you. No, this I don't understand. And when I don't understand the meaning of the word uttered by the other person, do you think it will make any change in me? No. And the meaning to our words starts happening when that meaning is demonstrated in our life through action. And this is where the inner discipline, the inner growth, the inner strength has to be invoked, developed, stabilized, harvested, distributed and applied in every moment of the manager. How important it is. And therefore, manager has got not only to prepare his homework before he goes for the work, but he has to work on himself or herself also. And when we have not worked on that, then we pay through nose. 20,000, 25,000, one lecture, 7-point formula for reducing the stress. The first stress is 25,000 I have to pay. And you pay 25,000 and go there and come out, and others ask you, hey, how it was? With what mouth will you say it was all nonsense? Because you have paid 25,000. You have to justify, oh, it was so wonderful. But the same thing is to be learnt, be very attentive, to be learned from our own experiences. Now be very clear in this point. An efficient manager is in a process of perpetual learning from his every interaction with every individual subordinate. See, a manager is the one who is not tackling the problem on a common basis. No. We have to take the individual case. Like, this medical camp I went, there they won't have one general treatment. When the patients come, first of all, give terramycin to everybody. Thereafter, give laxative to the next. Then ampute the right leg of everybody. No. You take the individual case. In the same manner, that manager has to deal with every individual person with all sincerity and an open mind. The result will be all our subordinates have this feeling, not only feeling, an experience, that I am being attended individually with all care. See, this is the beauty. It is not a general expression about philosophy, but it is a one-to-one approach. About this, I'll give one example. There is one industry in Karnataka. I go there every year once. And that place has a big problem of water supply. And where I go, it's a printing industry, and about 300-400 workers and 3 ships, and it is a security place. Therefore, it is extremely guarded. All the secret documents of many governments, including outside India, are printed. So, when I went there, spent some time with the management, the owner is a good friend of mine. I asked him, I said, hey, with you have got so many security items, this, that, don't you face the problem of strike and all kinds of leakage and again police action and all that? He said, no, Swamiji, fortunately we don't have. I said, what about the union? He said, our laborers do not allow any union to enter the premises. Imagine, laborers do not allow. Forget about the management. I said, what is the secret? He said, secret is very simple. Every person, whether he is a foreman or he is a person working on the machine or he is a manager or he is an account person, every person, we have got a complete role like that, and I sit with everybody one day, one person, or one day 2 persons. He, his wife, his children, we sit for 15 minutes maximum, not more than that. And all their personal things are taken care of. For example, water. Now, the moment we discovered that water is a big problem, so from company side, we decided, we have taken a decision in our board of director that all our people, wherever they are, company should provide them free water. Problems over. In this manner, a personal touch is given so that the best out of them is brought out. Friends, what for people work? They don't work for any company. Working for a company is a means for earning so that their home life is happy. But this one particular point is neglected by the management. They are only a matter of fact. Life is not a matter of fact. Life is a matter of love and understanding. When this element of love and understanding is brought by the manager while interacting with the people that he is working with, he has all the qualities which will keep all the people together in a creative manner as a creative force. Otherwise, all the lower ranks join together as a destructive force working against the management. See, we were all together before independence because not we loved each other, because we had a common enemy. Not common cause, common enemy. The moment they have gone, now the originality is coming out. Therefore, there are two methods which can bind, which can unite the people. One is a negative force leading to destruction, which is done through all your labor associations and kind of unions. And there is another one which is the creative force. And the creative force is an expression of inspired, motivated existence. The manager has the responsibility to be an inspired person. And who is an inspired person? He who never gives up. He who is able to keep his cool. He who has got that ability to look through the problem and discover the answer which is hidden on the other side of the problem. And this vision to look into the depth of the problem is possible if he has developed this faculty by growing within, by growing inside. Friends, most of the time we react in this world. Reactions are by default. And whenever you have the setting, when you click by default, something comes on your screen in the same manner. When somebody comes in front of us, we have already had the setting. Then this fellow comes, oh, useless. No, it is not. Every individual, every case has to be looked upon with the open mind, sincerity, and then you will see the difference. And this can happen only when our inner poise is undisturbed. Therefore, the qualities of a manager is this: ability to understand the standpoint of our subordinates. It depends on which side of the table you are. Whether you are taking interview or giving interview. I saw in somebody's house, inside the house, on the toilet door, it was written, one small sticker. How long is 1 minute depends on which side of the door you are. Isn't it? So, which side of the situation we are. And if we are able to have that ability, that you remain in your position of a manager, and yet you have the ability to perceive what will be the perception of the other person, then you can discover the possible solution and give a motivating answer to that man to come out of it. And one of the most important things for the manager is to bring to the notice of the subordinates the hidden talents and abilities in the subordinate. To condemn somebody is very easy. To make that person, you have these faculties, let them grow. If our presence in an organization make other people grow in their own individual life, then we have really recognized the individual potential of every subordinate. And this vision can be developed if we are cool within and practical without. And this will not happen overnight. And for that, we have to keep some time for working on the inner ground. When we sow a seed, the seed grows in two directions, above and below. What is seen by the world is the seed which is growing above the ground as a tree. What is not seen by the world is the root system which is growing below the ground level. But the strength of that tree is on the strength of that root system. In the same manner, our performance in the outer world is like the tree which has grown out. But the strength of that performance will be dependent on how much we have grown within. And that inner growth is called as the real strength of a manager. Friends, mind has infinite potentialities, and it is a freedom given to us how much we can utilize these potentialities in our life. A chaotic mind is a source of destruction, like a tsunami, and a cool mind is a source of creative existence, like Einstein. See the difference? Mind is the same. Like I see by the eyes, you also see by the eyes. I hear by the ears, you also hear by the ears. I think by the mind, you also think by the mind. But when you are a genius, your thinking is creative. And when I am not a genius, my thinking is negative and destructive. And therefore, it is extremely necessary that we recognize this aspect of our mind. That are we becoming negative in our approach? Are we giving up in the wake of any problem? Are we aware of what is happening inside? In short, an efficient manager is an extremely aware existence who slowly, in due time, develops an intuitive faculty. And what is the intuitive faculty? Intuitive faculty is perception of the problem along with the solution without getting entangled in cause and effect. Whenever we establish something through cause and effect, we are playing the intellectual gymnastics. But when we are spontaneous, when we are able to see the problem instantaneously, then we are slowly developing that intuitive vision. So, we have to work on two fronts. At home, on ourselves, in the factory or your place of work on the world, and both the places we have to see that our balance is perfectly maintained. Thus, the real efficient manager is he who has struck a perfect balance in the outer performance and the inner quality. And this will not happen by any magical wand. We have to work on it. Like, we have different strategies and also the exit policy when you prepare any project, is it not? The first thing, the other day, I was somewhere in Bombay and they were launching something. They said, Swamiji, we have come to take your blessing. So please bless us. I said, tell me what is the project. So something they are doing. And they showed me. Normally when Babajis are showed the project or something like that, beta, acha hoga. So when they showed me, I was going through. So one of the managers imported one. This guy knows. So our Indian counterpart, he said, I don't know, but we have everything in Swamiji. So without his permission, we don't do anything. I don't know what Indians you are. And then I was going through. And one place I stopped. I said, hey, this please explain me what it is. And in that they have made a big mistake in not deciding the exit policy. I said, without clearly establishing the exit policy, no big project should be taken. If you want to do, go ahead. But this is my observation. So then they delayed, we'll again work it on that. Afterward, that imported stuff said, hey, this guy looks different, but he is different. Now what do I have never done all these jobs in my life. But when you are with all that intuitive faculty in you, your perceptions are totally different. And with this perception, when you come in contact with any situation, you are able to understand and dissolve the problems from a totally different perspective, and which doesn't fit in the cause and effect. Whenever we try to establish something, what we do is to fix the responsibility. Fixing the responsibility is not discovering the solution. A manager is the one who is not fixing responsibility for any failure. He is the one to give solution to the existing problems. And if we are able to see that here is my manager, any problem I go to him or her, I go with the confidence that I have to get a solution. And when this happens, all our subordinates are bound to be dedicated, and they know that here is a ocean of solution for all the problems. And that will never happen overnight. We have to work on that. And working on that, when we say that it is the stress management techniques, we like it. When we say it is the thinking process alteration, we like it. When we are given 7-point formula, we like it. But when we are told that you have to change your process of thinking in a systematic and proper manner, it doesn't click. It is something like this. Today we had mothers' workshop. And I was in the lap of mothers, almost 100 of them, 70, 80 of them. And it was a great joy. And one of the question was, Swamiji, when you are telling all these things, it is so simple, it is so clear, we have no doubt about it, But you know what happens? After everything is over, we go out, again the same thing. Why this happens? It doesn't stay. I said, your question is like what? Your question is, we have taken, I said, I'll ask you this question. You reply now. Because my principle is, हर सवाल का जवाब ही सवाल हो, एक सवाल तुम करो, एक सवाल मैं करूं. So I said, I ask you a question. See, I have taken breakfast in the morning at 8 o'clock, now 12 o'clock, again I am hungry, what I should do? Take food. Then Amma replied, okay, I had taken food, but again at 5 o'clock, now again I am hungry, what I should do? Take again. You take again. Again at 9 o'clock, again I am hungry, what I should do? Take again. Is it a problem? It is not a problem. It is a natural phenomena. In the same manner, We can remain inspired, motivated throughout our life if we have the required quota of creative thoughts supplied to us every now and then. It will not happen once, only once you read Gita and now I know whole Gita by heart. But it is only in the heart, it is not going through the hands. Therefore, one of the essential quality of a good manager is he exposes himself to the divine creative thoughts and tries to implement those thoughts in his own life. Technically, we will call it as spiritual life, and managerially, we will call it as a homework. Because managers do homework. You have not done homework when you have come for the meeting, okay? Mr. Patel, next time be careful. So what is the homework? Whatever project you want to present, you must know all the details, all the data, all the latest trend and your evaluation, your presentation, your justification, why this is to be done or not done. That is all the homework you do, isn't it? In the same manner, when we have to face the unknown challenges that are going to come, the homework is prepare yourself in such a manner that nothing arrives to you as a surprise. You are prepared. See? This is the NRI month, isn't it? I was told, Swamiji, this time you have come during the NRI month. I said, I know Shravan Mas, I know, Falgun Mas. This is a new term, NRI month, because this time many NRIs visit India. So when the NRIs come and they see the beautiful driving and our traffic over here, how come people drive here? I remember long time back, for the first time when I came here, I was amazed. And one person asked me this question that time. Those days the lectures were some other big hall, I don't know where it is. This building was not there. And in question and answer, people don't have to ask question pertaining to subject. They can ask any question. Swamiji, why your beard is white and head is black? And after hearing, management lecture. So, one person asked me this question. Swamiji, have you observed our three-wheeler rickshaw fellows, what they do? I said, yes, I have observed. What is that? I said, in Ahmedabad, when they have to show the direction, they don't have the light, they don't take out the hand, they take out the leg. He says, Swamiji, you are really, really genius. That is true. But I don't know why in Ahmedabad only the rickshaw fellows take out the leg and show the direction. What is the reason? Now, is it a question to be asked to a Swami after listening to your management? But question can come any. So, if I become surprised, I will become angry and become frustrated, and this is not the way to ask a question to a Swami. You are a student of management. I can always do that, isn't it? So I told, I said, look here, the reason is, this is called in our scriptures as Purva Janma Samskar. That fellow must have been doing it, Abhishek, in his last life as a dog, and then is born as a driver. So the same habit of lifting the leg is still there. Friends, when you do not accept anything in your life as a surprise, you are bound to be successful. That is the meaning of a great manager. Otherwise, something comes, and before the subordinates had to say, the manager is gone. I don't know. Because when I came and told him, and he is totally gone. Now, the people have come to you to get inspiration, but now they have to dig a grave to put you there. No. And this ability to look at the situation not as a problem, but take that as a challenge, is never losing your cool. And that can happen only when you are cool within. And what is being cool within? A simple practice. Stop reacting. Normally we react. Don't react. And when you don't react, then what happens? You act. And when you act, your action is born out of wisdom and understanding. When you react, your action is born out of frustration and boredom. A person who reacts, he is never functioning in the climate of wisdom and understanding. Then it becomes a habit. And after some time, the people around us, they have the worst kind of respect for us. Thereafter, the people around us, they only work out of fear and for salary. If as a manager or a head of an institution or a family, whatever it is. Now this is the last point I tell you. With this we'll conclude IoT, we will have discussions. The real success of a manager or the head of an institution is to bring in the heart of every single individual working in that organization that this institution belongs to us. And this can be done only by the top person. Nobody can do that. If the people are working, anyway we get salary, we have to go, then it is a total failure on the part of the manager. And if he is able to do this, he need not do any other work, because handling the HR, no? There is one institution in Pune on this your human resource development, National Institute of something like that. I don't know, you know, knowing better than me. So there was one conference and people from all over India and abroad also have come. And I was called there to give a keynote address. And all people, you know, with the projector and a laptop and all that, and a badge here and, you know, that suitcase in the hand, a typical corporate makeup. And so much of security and everything. And when I went there, they looked at me, Babaji, yahan kuch nahi milta. So when they said like that, I said, now I must invoke Angreji Maiya ki Jai. So I invoke Angreji Maiya. Said, excuse me, will you please connect me to Mr. Sachdev? Kya kaam hai? He couldn't reply. He was dumbfounded. Babaji talking English? And then that Mr. Sachdev came and took me with all respect, and I went and sat there. And the last lecture was to be given by me. So I heard 2-3 speakers with all the things. And then I said, look here, this is how I was received when I was invited here, with a doubt whether I should enter or not. Thank you very much. And then I told them, I said, I don't know what is the meaning of your HRD, but what I have understood is only one thing. It is not human resources. Whenever you look at any resource, you exploit the resources. Don't exploit the human beings. Then what is the meaning of HR? It is happy relations. If the manager is able to create happy relationship among all the people working together, he is the most successful and a perfect manager. And friends, what I am talking to you is not out of my hat. I don't have. This is clearly demonstrated in our AMA, in the life of all the people here. See, our AMA is one of the best association in the whole country, not for a day or two, but for consecutively last 12 years. All other organizations also I visit, and they get disgusted. We don't know what these people are doing there. Every time they snatch away the prize. The reason is this. Every person in this organization here has a feeling that I belong to the organization belongs to me. And this can happen because of the top person. You know why I come over here? Because of one person who makes me dance. And he is our KK Nair. He is a person who is able to bring out the best out of even a stone. This ability to give, to discover the abilities, to promote and to help people grow is the secret of a great manager. Now see this boy here who is doing this recording. I know his whole history and case. He was here appointed just as a casual labor. But when Nairji saw the great potentiality in that boy, slowly he was promoted. He was given the facility from his own pocket. He was sent for recording, electrical connections, and then video recording. And within a period of 4 or 5 years, he has become a better expert than the qualified with the degrees. This ability to bring out the best out of an average person is the requirement of a great manager. This can happen only when you are not selfishly working in this world. And that is what is called as inner growth. With this inner growth alone, the outer tree, see how small it was when it began. So this inner growth alone can sustain the huge tree which is growing above the level of the ground. And that is the responsibility of the top. If the top is not strong with understanding and its great qualities, the lower will be always rotten. And therefore, friends, all these points when we put together, we have some glimpses about the basic quality of an efficient manager. Now we will have a tea break from 7 to 7:15, and after you are broken, then you come here for discussion about your break. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.